my patience is the biggest thing, and just talking about it is like that's like the biggest thing that I need to work on, because not only is that going to affect how he grows up, that's going to affect how he sees the world and how he reacts to the world too.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Men, Real Talk. This is where we talk about things that most men won't talk about. I am here with the illustrious Mr. Tilghman.
What's up, Crispy Chris?
Oh my gosh, that's so great. We're going to leave that in. All right. So today we are talking about fatherhood again. This is the second part in our Father's Day series. We're going to be a little bit off on our timing for the series, but hey, something that needs to be talked about. So last week we talked about how did our dads do? And you know what? It's a little unfair to analyze our dads and not look at us. So today we're going to talk about us and do a little self-examination. So without further ado, Tilghman, I believe you had some examples. Like what's like the number one thing you've kind of had to deal with? And then maybe what are some stories about that thing, like successes, failures, whatnot?
So the number one thing is patience on my part. It's just like that's been the biggest thing for me becoming a dad. Because he's our first son. We have one, so he's the first, and so they always say the first one's like a test trial, right? So, but I wouldn't say it like that, but
it's true.
So
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like what the world says. But then, no, I just my biggest thing has been like with the patience aspect, especially as my son's gotten older and now that he's in the toddler phase, around that toddler phase, and just wanting to play all the time when dad doesn't have time to play, right? So it's like, daddy, come do this, daddy, come do that, daddy, come do this. And sometimes it's just like, you'll go do something and then you're just like, oh yeah, hey buddy, we already played for 45 minutes on the Legos. Okay, I got to get up and go do this. I got to cook dinner and stuff like that. And they just want your attention 24/7. And I think my biggest thing, and like one thing that kind of, I feel like messes with my patience being a dad is I look at it like this, and I can blame it, but I look at it kind of like I'm pretty selfish too. But I look at it because I was the youngest in my family, so I always got everything I wanted. I was the youngest kid, and I was born in a pretty good sweet spot. That's when mom and dad started making some good financial decisions. So I got a lot of good stuff, And so with the patience aspect, it's like, man, Tilghman, you're selfish, dude. Like, why you doing that? Like, it's just because I have all the reason to say no, but I have all the reason to say yes too. Whenever little one wants to, play and stuff like that. So I guess a good example is like a couple weekends ago. Oh gosh, he was wanting to go outside on his 4-wheeler and this and that, and I was like, oh, and I said something, and I can't even remember how I said. This is those moments where you're just like, oh, why did I say that? But it's just like, oh no, just go play Legos or something like that. Just go inside, play Legos. Like we're done. And I like, and the biggest thing that I mentioned to you earlier too, Chris, was like the way I come off sometimes can be really harsh, really hard, and that's kind of how my dad was too. So that's one of those traits that I've adopted. And love you, Dad, if you see this. Not talking bad on you, but it's one of those things where I've constantly got to be thinking about how I'm going to respond, a loving response with a patient response, because it's so easy to say, blah, just go, just go do this, lay off me. I've had a long day. Like, go away. He doesn't get that. He doesn't get what a long day is yet. I mean, he's in that toddler phase, right? So, but that being said, though, you see the expressions and you see the way they act, and you start seeing it in the way they act after you've kind of popped off on them. And so you're like, okay, let's practice this patience thing. And so like, so that day when he was outside wanting to do more and more outside, but it was time to go in, it was like, oh, let's go inside, let's do this, and kind of got off on him. But then there's been times where I've like really focused on it and really thought about my response and being patient. And it's just like a night and day change between how he acts too as a kid. Like I've noticed, like if mom and dad are going off on you, you're probably going to go off on us right back, right? So it's like
weird how that works.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, and it opened up my eyes too, because there was he got impatient with his mom, And
Mm.
that's when I was like, yep, he's watching all right. And so that's when I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's really make sure, let's work on our responses and let's work with our patients and stuff like that. And it hasn't been perfect. There's still times where I'd much rather just like do my thing and like, I guess I wouldn't say check out of being a dad, but just like do something I want to do, the selfish part of me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but I've noticed that as I've I say begun, it's always a work in progress with my patience
Yeah.
and my responses. But, as I've been working on it, it's like he's become more patient. He's become more patient himself. He's become more
Hmm.
loving him. I say loving. Toddlers are always loving, but they go through those phases where they just want to hit and bite all the time, right? So it's like, it's like
More on that later.
there's less hitting, there's less biting, and there's less impatience on his end too.
Uh-huh.
But it's just it's simple stuff. It's like I lose my patience quick. Like he copies my road rage sometimes. Like somebody will cut us off and like, oh come
Oh,
on, bro. And then like when a car's not going fast enough, he goes, come on, bro. And he's in the back seat. I'm like, oh gosh. I was like, oh Tillman, what are you doing?
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
raising a road rager, it's just like, and
Yeah.
so like my patience is the biggest thing, and just talking about it is like that's like the biggest thing that I need to work on, because not only is that going to affect how he grows up, that's going to affect how he sees the world and how he reacts to the
Hmm.
world too. So if he sees a dad that's always impatient, he's probably going to grow up the same way. And then it's just
Yeah.
going to be a snowball effect. So that's one of those things where, and I've said it before, is just breaking those, I guess those generational chains in a sense, because, that's just kind of the kind of responses that I was used to growing up with as well. And that's just kind of been embedded in
Hmm.
me too. So in my mind, it's normal, but then my wife is like, hey, that was kind of harsh. I was like, oh,
Mm.
so, but yeah, the
Yeah.
patience, and then just patience and loving responses, and just taking away the selfishness in it, because when you have a kid, man, that's all that matters, at the end of the day. And it's
Yeah.
just a constant reminder to yourself. It's like, hey, I can put this aside as long as it's nothing important. You can put this aside and go hang out with your
Yeah.
kid, so.
And I can like, I can totally feel you there, like with the selfishness thing. Because I
Yeah,
remember when my eldest was born, it I don't know, like there's parental opinions out there everywhere.
yeah,
Uh, but I like the distinct thing that I remember from having my first child was, oh my lord, the world like the world is not all about pleasing me. Like life is not all about me and my wife.
yeah.
Like like wait a minute, like I don't even get to sleep all the time. And now my wife would laugh so hard because there were times where literally our firstborn was screaming and I was literally passed out on the bed like next to her. There she even has a picture evidence of our eldest daughter. And I'm just totally dead asleep right next to her. But anyway, dads, like if you know, you know, like that first baby is just a big like brick wall in front of your life saying like the world is not about you, like life is not about you.
Yep.
Um, and in all that, like that needing to transition from my view of the world to this unselfishness that I needed to have in order to respond correctly to the world, to the things going on around me, to the needs of my child, to the needs of my wife. That was a hard adjustment, and I got angry about it. Like I was not expecting the level of like rage. Like I didn't do anything like, didn't have to call CPS, but like I could feel it in my heart of just like I am raging mad. Like I'm so angry. Why am I so angry? Uh and like to the point where I'm handing the baby off to Catherine, like I have to go walk around the block. Like this, I'm so angry. Like I can't deal with it. And thank God I was able to do that. Um, but and like over the years, it's gotten better. You just learn. Part of it's just time, and just keep doing it again and again, and you eventually learn. Okay, the world's not about you. Life's not about you. Um, it's gonna be okay. Like yeah, they're screaming right now. It's gonna be okay. A little tactical tip, by the way, if you have a screaming baby, a pair of headphones really helps. Like if you feel yourself getting angry or like you're gonna lose it, like and cry or something, which hey, it's okay if you cry, like there's this child like screaming in front of you and you're trying to help the child and it's just not working. It's terrible. But I have found really helpful, like if you need to be there and you also need to be calm, pair of headphones. Like I've used it a few times. It's amazing how well it works. Like it just helps you maintain your cool.
Hmm.
You can attend to the needs of the child properly. I don't recommend it as a way to disassociate and not listen. The whole point is just to maintain your sanity while you take care of the child. Um, but anyway, yeah. So now I'm like revisiting the whole anger thing with my son, and my son is he has some anger issues because he's 3 and he doesn't know how to filter himself. And there's been times where I'll tell him to do something or I'll take something away from him that's dangerous or something I don't want him to break. And he literally screams at the top of his lungs in my face. Like just pure rage. And of course, he's 3, so it's not that big of a deal. But when it peeks out your eardrums and it literally, I don't know if you guys know the sound, but where it's because he's screaming so loud, like it's this weird sound in your head that happens when something is so loud. He's done that to me. And there's been times I've yelled at him and just said, like, I am so sick of you yelling. You cannot yell at your sister, like, and all this stuff. And there I am. I'm doing the thing that I don't want him to do. Like I'm losing my cool when I'm supposed to be showing him how to keep his cool. And like, oh, I'll help keep your cool by just yelling louder and just being bigger mad instead of you're a little mad. And my wife and I have talked about it, and she's really helped me to sort of calm down, and begin to actually guide him. So the method now is like no emotion, but if he is screaming, like we have the boundary of like, if you're going to be angry, if you're going to scream, you can't scream at us like this. Like you need to go outside, like go into your room, like just go have your like your huge emotions while not inflicting pain on other people. Like I won't let you inflict pain on me to to like get back at us. And that's actually been semi-successful. And now he's started to calm down. We're starting to be able to say, hey, use your words. Okay, you're angry. What are you angry about? Like actually talk to us. It's okay to be angry. But you can't just scream at us. So I don't know. That's just like a story. I hope that helps some of you guys out because we're in the trenches right now, so to speak.
Heck yeah.
And it's crazy. And a more recent thing, this is like literally just in the last couple days that we're trying. We're trying something where when he's angry, we like go and we sit with him. We're not trying to change his mind. We're not trying to like make him feel better. We're not trying to punish him or anything. We just literally sit there and we're available. And then we'll ask, like he'll be raging mad. And we'll say, hey, are you thirsty? Do you need some water? Do you want me to rub your back? Like just like really just like being available for him. And he'll be screaming at us and saying, go away. But just to sit there and be like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to try to force my will upon you, but I'm here. I'm here for you. And to instead of just like telling him to go in a corner and just have his little pity party and wait till he's done, a new thing, I think the next better step is to like, okay, now let's actually sit with you and try to help find your way back to joy. And that's a big word in our family. Like the big phrase is find your way back to joy. Because we as adults, we go through the same thing. We get out of joy. We're in crisis mode, and then we need to find our way back to joy. I'll be quiet now. So yeah, I wasn't super organized with that, but that's like the thing that I'm dealing with. And then like the failure is the times where I yell at him. But we've gotten better. We're starting to have some success. And it's crazy when you just keep your cool, and it's so hard to do. But when you keep your cool, it's the slow game. They actually start to keep their cool. And just in the last couple of weeks, he's been He's been starting to keep his cool, and we've been able to actually talk when he gets angry. So good.
It's a win.
When?
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Oh, win-win. I thought you were saying when. Like
No, no,
as
no.
in,
It's a winning situation when you're both just sitting there talking
it
it out
is.
rather than just like because like you said, and that kind of I relate to that too. It's like you're trying to get him to stop doing what you're doing right back at him.
Yeah.
Yelling at him to get him to stop yelling.
Uh
That's not going to work.
huh. Because that's the way my dad taught me.
Yeah,
And again, Dad, love you. Like,
yeah,
this is not bashing on you. Like, we all make mistakes. Like, I'm right now in all the successes. Like, I'm also making deep failures that I'm going to need to like work through with my kids one day. So, just there is no judgment necessarily. Like, we can make judgments and say, oh, that wasn't a good way to do it. But we also don't need to like hold it over our parents' heads. Like, you ruined me. Like you're the worst in the world. Um, Now, to be fair, just some little disclaimers here, which we should have probably put at the beginning. Not everybody has a good father. Not everybody had a dad who like raised him. Some had just a single mom. Some had abusive fathers, uh, physically, spiritually, uh, like using their words um, to abuse you. So I recognize that. Thankfully, that was not my story. Um, so with all this stuff, I know that each of us has like a different like starting point on the road of fatherhood. I guess the encouragement that I want to give you guys is that no matter where your starting point is on the road, no matter how broken or in distress you are right now as a father, no matter where you are, like if you're like 60 years old and you've done the damage already and you're recognizing that and you're trying to repair that relationship, or you're just starting out and you're like holding this baby and trying not to lose your ever loving mind, no matter where you started, there is a way back to joy. There is a way to be good again. For those of you who read Kite Runner, that's a really good book. But there is a way to be good again. There is a way back to joy. Just want to encourage you guys with that because it's it seems like it doesn't make any sense for those of us who never had kids, or when I didn't have kids, you don't realize, you have no idea how a little version of you brings out all these deep feelings and puts you into crisis mode, and you're like, wait, how did I get here? This is a little tiny human, I should be able to handle this. No, it's the battle's real. So just want to recognize that, guys, and encourage you with that. And that's kind of where we'll be going next week, is like, okay, now thinking about back to your relationship with your father, what are some ways back to joy with him? What are things that you can do that are like 2% better, um, that can just like barely start a relationship? Like, we're not talking about fixing this overnight. We're just talking about just getting the wheels turning, getting unstuck from wherever you are if you're not satisfied with your relationship with your dad. Preview for me has been fixing my dad's truck. That's been one, and then engaging a little bit in fishing. So that's been sort of how we do it. And we're going to try to keep it tactical and practical next week, like really accessible. We're not talking like big father-son trips and all this crap. Like, no, not everybody's life is like that. We'll start with the small stuff. So sorry, Tilghman, I did not let you speak. So what you got? I feel like you got some wisdom for us to close it out.
Oh no, you're good. No, the biggest thing for me, because I'm a new dad, right? So I'm a rookie at this. I feel like a lot of us are still rookies at this, no matter how many kids you have. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I just feel like before you decide to do something, think to yourself, do I want my kids to grow up and do this? And that's gonna be that's kind of the way I look at it sometimes. Like before I go do this, just pretend that your kids are in the back seat of the car. Pretend that they're with you, sitting next to you, and just pretend like, hey, do I want to do this? Because I know if I do this, they might want to do this. They're watching me, so
Mm-hmm.
that can go into helping men become the better father that they want to be. So keep that in mind this
Mm.
week.
I have no words. That's beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, men, we love you. By the way, Tilghman, you didn't tell me to like, comment, and subscribe. Like,
Like, comment, subscribe,
you're my
guys.
accountability partner in that. Oh, sorry. No, it's ultimately my fault. Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. We hope it's given you maybe just some perspective, some little tactical things that maybe will help you. Love to hear what some of your tactical ways of dealing with fatherhood are, because there's all sorts of ideas out there. There's as many ideas as there are people. And there's a lot of good ones out there. So we love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back next week with the conclusion to our fatherhood series. And we'll see you then. Woohoo!
Woo!
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I'll be right back, Chris. I've got to pee like a racehorse, man.
Oh, man. Take it away, Seabiscuit.